Am I the asshole for telling my mom that my wife is pregnant? A few days ago my wife and I found out that she's pregnant. We had been trying for about a year after she had experienced a miscarriage of a pregnancy that we hadn't planned. We are both obviously super happy and excited to become parents. So yesterday I went out to lunch with my mom and I told her the news, to which she was thrilled for my wife and I. I didn't think anything of it until when I told my wife that I told my mom, and she was immediately upset with me. She said that she wasn't ready for people to know given how her last pregnancy ended. She said that now because my mom knows that she is pregnant, she's now going to know if something goes wrong, and she's not comfortable with that. When I asked her why that is such a big deal, all she could say was it just is and that I wouldn't understand. In my defense, it's not just her news to share, it's ours, and I feel like it was completely reasonable to tell my mom as she is an immediate family member who I am very close with. I also know for a fact she already told her sister, so I just don't see how me telling my mom is a problem. She also never communicated to me that she wanted me to keep the news to myself. A day later and she's still very much so mad at me. I am getting the silent treatment and she avoids me like I am the one who did something bad. Again, I really don't think I did anything wrong here. While I understand that it's her body, I think it's unfair that she can tell her support system but I'm not allowed to tell mine. Am I the asshole? Edit. After typing this all out and coming back and reading it again, I realized that I sound like a dick and apologized to her. She accepted my apology, and we made up and got sushi. Thank you Reddit for helping me realize I was in the wrong lol. Another Reddit. Since this I've noticed a trend. My wife did not have raw fish sushi, she had a California roll with imitation crab, which is perfectly fine from everything we read. X200B. AITA, you went out by yourself to tell your mom. That's a together announcement. Kinda soft. You're the asshole because it is a period of uncertainty for your wife given what has occurred previously. Most couples wait 3 to 4 months before announcing for this very reason. I realize you are excited, but consider that your mum will blab to everyone, and if something goes wrong those everyones will keep asking your wife about the baby. It will be shit for her. You're the asshole especially when you have experienced miscarriages before. Telling others of a pregnancy immediately after testing is incredibly difficult and sensitive. Your wife is already probably extremely anxious and feeling enough pressure from herself to carry this child safely and not feel like a failure and heartbroken if something happened. Most doctors etc. generally advise waiting a certain period before telling others because the early weeks are very volatile. Regardless though, you and your wife should talk about when telling others is okay. It is news that belongs to both of you. You're the asshole. There's usually a safe timeline to begin telling people. She's already experienced a loss with her miscarriage. She's on edge with good reason. Her sister is her support system to the things happening to her body, your mother is not. It's great telling folks that you're pregnant, it's grim having to tell them that you aren't anymore. Your wife had already done that once, so she knows only too well. Lots of pregnancies fail. Most of the time there is nothing the mother could have done, or not done, to improve the chances of a good outcome, but that doesn't stop people making judgments. You're the asshole. You don't tell anyone until you both feel confident. You're the asshole. Just because she is pregnant with your sperm doesn't give you the right to tell people she is pregnant. You are not pregnant and therefore it is not your pregnancy to announce. I would recommend couples counseling because I think you have deeply betrayed her trust, and I can't tell if you are truly as dense as you are coming across here, or if you just have no empathy for your wife's feelings. You're the asshole. Just in general, it's customary to wait a certain amount of time before telling people. Did she announce to her sister, or was she seeking her sister for counsel and support? There's a difference. How did your mother react with the first miscarriage? Pregnancy announcements should be a mutual decision. I wouldn't want people knowing this early either. This wasn't just your news to share, it was hers too. You're the arsehole. You should have talked to your wife first. I see your perspective and you should be allowed to talk with someone, but clear it with your wife first. Did you consider your mom might be the last person she wants you to tell? Info: who has to break the news and deal with the fallout if she miscarried again? Are you aware how common it is to not tell people until after the first trimester due to risk of miscarriage? You're the asshole. It's both of your news and you decided to share it without a discussion first or taking your wife's opinions or emotions in consideration. You're the asshole. Because only she knows how it feels to have to tell someone her body failed to bring a baby to term. You experience the miscarriage very differently. And there's still a huge stigma in women having them. By telling your mom without your wife's consent, you added to the list of people that if something goes wrong she'll have to go through that again too. Major: you're the arsehole. She's pregnant, not you. You are there to support her. You're the arsehole. You should have discussed this with your wife before telling anyone. Gentle: you're the arsehole. While I can appreciate the excitement you have for becoming a father, it was inconsiderate of your wife's feelings. You say that she could have communicated that she wanted you to keep quiet about the news, but you also could have communicated that you were going to tell your mom. Regardless of how you feel, her feelings matter more here because it's her body. Show her some compassion and empathy. You're the arsehole. It's not our news to share. It's hers. She is the one who went through the miscarriage. Not you. You were on the sidelines when it happened. The same way you are on the sidelines while she is pregnant. She is the one who will be going through all the challenges and changes of pregnancy, not you. My husband knew with each of our pregnancies to keep his mouth shut until I was ready to announce it. As he put it, he isn't the one who has to give Thea body for over a year to have a child. You're the asshole. It's not just her news to share. But apparently, it's yours alone. I guess get used to making decisions on your own, as you'll end up that way if you keep acting like a single person, with no regard to the woman who is carrying your child. Pregnancy sucks, by the way. It's time to grow up and learn how to care for someone and put their needs above your own for a while. Consider it a practice run. While you didn't mean to be, you're the asshole. Dude, your wife suffered a miscarriage. Think about what that did to her emotionally. Her body failed her, the life she was growing was lost. It's devastating and the emotional toll just doesn't go away. Speaking from experience. Most people wait until like the second trimester to say anything because usually if something is going to go wrong, it's in the first trimester. Usually. Not the asshole. She told her sister and let OP know she told her sister. If she didn't want OP to have a single support or confidant, she should have mentioned that at the same time. At which point he could have said, "Whoa, hypocrite, you are going to have to explain your reasoning here." Many women know the 12-week rule for divulging pregnancy news. I wouldn't assume my guy knows that. And I wouldn't assume he understands that I get to break the rule, but he doesn't. No one is the R. You don't have a crystal ball, so you didn't know how she would feel about something common to do: tell parents about pregnancy. SH, for the simple reason, your wife doesn't communicate. First, she didn't communicate that she didn't want people to know. Second, justice isn't fucking communication, and hell will be just a sauna before my husband speaks to me that way. It's no different than a parent telling their child because I said so. Third, silent treatment? Gently, you're the asshole. You shouldn't have shared the news with anyone before discussing it with your wife first. If you just found out a few days ago, I'm guessing it's very early in the pregnancy, and your wife is probably feeling extremely vulnerable, anxious, and fearful of having another miscarriage. It makes sense that she might want to confide in one other person she's close to, like her sister, but wouldn't necessarily want her mother-in-law to know. You're right that it's both of your news, but that means that both of you should agree on the timing and manner of making it public. You're the asshole. This was news about both of you, not only you. She is the pregnant one. You should have talked about it first. It's a 2 yeses or 1 no.